Scott here with Rafters Sports and Movies, and today is a day of hockey. I've got my shorzy, I've got my gloves, I've got my puck. Woo, we're going to drop the puck today with my friend from Mission Control, Matt Savage, and here he comes. There he is, everyone, Matt Savage.
Hey, Scott, I'm surprised that you didn't put foil on prior to putting those gloves on.
I'll have to do that next time. I definitely will have to do that next time. I have the glasses, but they aren't quite very Hansen-like.
Right.
But they are what they are, and I have what I have. So Matt Savage comes to us from Mission Control, Houston's Hockey Podcast. We're going to talk some of that later. And he is in the rafters now, and there is his banner you see on the screen. So he is up behind me in the rafters. So good on him. Thank you for joining me today. So we're going to talk hockey movies. Now, let me set it for everybody else because I've had some talks about it. I keep a massive list of sports movies, and I've categorized them pretty much by sport: hockey, baseball, basketball, racing, car, automobile racing, horse racing. They get their own category too because there's quite a few movies there. I have In the Ring, and that includes boxing and MMA and wrestling. So boxing's kind of a mismatch. Then we've got other, which would be like Into the Blue and Surfer Girl and stuff like that. But hockey does have its own category. We're looking at right around, according to my list, and I might have missed one here and there, 56 real deal movies, including some documentaries. And then 5 series, one being a YouTube series called Full Ride. And then, of course, shorzy, got the jersey, gotta love it. So I think we both agree if we were to rank the 5 TV series, it would be shorzy. Maybe, yeah, Letterkenny.
I mean,
I can't get into that show. I just can't.
Really? Okay.
I lose most of the comedy. I just get lost in translation, or I haven't lived in the Northeast, so I tried real hard. But when shorzy came on, even though Joe Dolo speaks French here and there, I'm full on board. With that one.
Yeah, and then you find yourself saying some of Joe Dolo's phrases. What exactly does that mean? It's like, that's a good question. Let me Google.
I need to Google these French phrases before I say in front of somebody that knows French, and then I get smacked.
Yes, indeed.
I don't need to get smacked in public. Season 6 for shorzy is coming out next year. I got confirmation from Joe Dolo that it is wrapped filming. I follow him on Instagram, and I chatted to him like, man, that was awesome. Can't wait. We need some more shorzy. And he said, brah, we just finished. We just wrapped, coming out in 2026. I'm like, here we go.
Okay. Because last I heard it was late 2025, and it's like, we should be hearing something by now. So okay, that's what, fine. I'd
sooner the better, absolutely. But I want it to be good.
Exactly.
I want it to be right, and they've done everything else right. And their tour that they're doing is, other than not coming to Texas at all, is pretty good. Where they're playing the alumni players, and they got a little, kind of Harlem Globetrotter thing going on, but they're playing hockey too.
It's completely self-indulgent, but have fun, boys. You earned it with your fights with the natives, with the Gems line, and
right.
Fine, have fun, go all out.
It's awesome. So let me see if I have let me check something here. Where'd it go? All right, so here we go. Oh no, I've got it set up for football. All right, so number 5 coming. Now we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1 being the best, and that's for everybody. I knew you knew that, but nobody else might know that. What do you got coming in at number 5?
It took some thinking, and actually had to rewatch some stuff because I was weighing two. But number 5, 2014 Red Army, the documentary of the Russians getting into Detroit. And I I put it on the list because there's a lot of, hey, I remember that time, but there's a lot of stuff I wasn't aware of at the time. Other things that were just vague recollections. I would have liked for it to talk a little bit more about the process of getting them over from the Soviet Union. I understand that's roughly when the wall was coming down and all that stuff. And um, I'm a Cold War kid, history nut, so I would have liked to have leaned into that more. And I was rewatching it. I'm going, I don't know if this still holds up. And then the end happened, and I'm not going to spoil it for those who don't remember what that was, what went on with the Red Army team. But then the end happened, and and I got all emotional, and I'm like, no, this deserves inclusion. So number 5, Red Army.
Okay, so Red Army's got a little star next to it. It'll be a blue star because that's the ink that I have in my pen.
All right.
So I'm going to watch that. I haven't watched it. So I really, whenever I do these, very, very rarely do I add one I have not watched. So I haven't watched it. So it's not on my list. So bad on me for that, but that's okay. I also haven't watched The Rocket, the Paul Maurice story, even though I know his story. These are all good documentaries also. But I totally understand where you're coming from with this one. I like it. I like it. So
I meant to watch The Rocket, and I haven't yet. And you saying that's like, yeah, that's. I mean, how many movies not even sports movies, are on your list that's like, I should have seen that by now. Yeah, I'll get to it, and then you don't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I go on to all the different platforms and I hunt and search for these movies because, of course, I want to watch them for free when I can.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them you can't find at all, and some of them you gotta pay a little bit for them. And we don't have video stores anymore to go to and rent them.
Yeah, right. Well, even then, it's like then you have to call around. Remember the good old days? Call around. It's like, oh, they have it at the location out there in Humboldt. So you're driving from Sugar Land to Humboldt to go get that one really obscure movie you want.
Right, and then if it's there when you get there, you're lucky.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, we put it aside, but we don't know where we put it. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know where you put it? Don't you have a designated area for anyway? Okay, so coming in for number 5 for me is a campy movie, is a comedy movie, as Mighty Ducks, and I brought it to my list because I do think it meant a lot to the sport as a whole. I think it got a lot of American kids excited about the sport. Hey, maybe I could play that. Daddy, I want to play hockey, or Daddy, I want to go see a game or whatever. And then, of course, Disney kicking off their franchise ownership of the Mighty Ducks, which honestly hasn't been the same since they sold, I think. They're still doing some ducky stuff, but if they could, they would. I think they changed their name completely. They're no longer the Mighty Ducks. They're just the Ducks now. And that's not very scary or intimidating.
Yeah, you say that. So that's my number 4 for all the reasons you just said. And I'm okay getting flamed in the comments. I love your coffee mug. I'm okay getting flamed in the comments. So I'm going to say the following. I think the Mighty Ducks movie was more influential in getting young Southern kids to look into hockey than Gretzky getting traded to LA. Because if you're a young kid, even if you're not a young kid, but if you're from the South and haven't been paying attention, all you know about Gretzky is Canadians are upset that he got traded to the United States. But you watch the Mighty Ducks movies, and this might be D2. I'm not an aficionado, but there's that scene where the kids are rollerblading through a park or a mall or something, and they're passing their ball.
It's the Mall of the Americas.
It is the Mall of the. Thank you. And it made skating look cool, and kids could look at that and go, "Yeah, I want to do that." I noticed something about my list, and I don't know if your list is the same, but all 5 of these movies have different audiences. And
absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would not enjoy watching the Mighty Ducks today, other than a nostalgia trip. But you cannot deny its influence. And Anaheim, their player ritual is that Coach Bombay jacket. Their hashtag on Twitter is "Fly Together," so it's still relevant. But I'm with you. I kind of wish they'd bring back those eggplant jerseys. I get
Love
they're
those
trying to
jerseys.
do. Yeah, I get they're trying to be Orange County, so orange, but it's going to be one of their third jerseys at some point. They're going to embrace
Well,
it again.
I love the idea of an alternate jersey just in the first place to have, and there's multiple alternate jerseys now. You got a cancer jersey, you got a Native American jersey. So I love that for jersey sales. I just wish the price would come down a little bit. Jerseys are
Well, yeah,
wicked expensive. And
yeah,
let's be clear, of all the jerseys of all the sports, this has the most fabric,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I mean, it doesn't
and
matter
they're
if it
cooler
was,
looking.
and they are cooler looking. I mean, that's
Mhm.
why was it Kevin Smith used to wear them every day, the director, the guy
Yeah,
that
he
did
did.
Mallrats.
That's
He
right.
was jerseyed up all the time. He was from Canada, and yeah, I've got a Mighty Ducks clock on the wall, still works with the original logo, and I'm just what they did for hockey. I thought was very positive. In they
Mhm.
did 3 movies. I'm glad they stopped at 3. There is talk of a reunion movie.
Well, they
With
had that Disney Plus series.
I've never saw that. I saw the cartoon where
Oh, that's
they were
right.
they had a cartoon,
Yes.
uh, which was kind of like a Darkwing Duck, but with the ducks. It was the Mighty Ducks were
Yeah, it
all
was bizarre.
save the world. Yeah, yeah, it was bizarre. So that's your number 4 is
Yeah,
ducks.
yeah.
My number 4 is now also with my grouping. I didn't do any sequels. So when I
I
say
didn't
Mighty
either.
Ducks, I'm saying Mighty Ducks, all of them
Okay.
together. This next one has a sequel also, and it's Goon,
Yeah,
Goon, Goon. Um,
we have very similar list. That's all I'll say for the moment. But
well, the ones
spoilers.
for hockey, there's hockey movies that have
Uh-huh.
good production value, and then there's after school specials that they don't have enough. Like, unfortunately, Brett Hull was in minor leaguer. There wasn't enough ice time in that movie,
Mm.
and so it didn't make the list. But it had Brett Hull and Timu Solani in it, and they had a lot of screen time, chirping at each other, making fun of each other.
Yeah,
Uh,
but you had Madonna and I forgot who was with him in Mighty Ducks. So,
yes,
uh,
small bit part,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And they chirped up Gordon Bombay as
Mhm.
Gordy was the best, and I was like, oh, that's so cute because Emilio Estevez is not a tall guy,
No.
so him on skates doesn't really give him much more height and scariness on the ice. But yeah, Madonna and I don't remember who was with Shanahan. Maybe that doesn't sound right. I can't
That
remember.
require me going back and watching Mighty Ducks. I don't remember either.
But it was also when they were in Minnesota, so it would have
That's
been
right.
North Star,
Mhm.
because it was all based in Minnesota and Mall of America and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I had Goon
Goon, yes.
2. I did like Goon 1 better than Goon 2. It's just like,
Same.
hey, can we make more money out of this? I did, however, like how they closed the circle on Goon 2 and kind of gave it closure. But I do like the ice. The second one had way too much blood in it, way too much. The first one,
It did. It was over the top. I didn't like the second one, to be honest with you. I think the
okay,
first is one of those everyone should watch this movies. Yeah.
right. I
Yeah.
agree. And Jay Bichelle, who was his buddy,
Mhm.
who was also in Ice Guardians. He's actor's been in several other movies. Real skinny, dark-haired guy. He did quite well in the movie. Ask him if 69's available. That'd be funny. He said
Mhm.
other words also that I can't repeat on
Oh,
the
sure,
channel.
sure.
Just the setup for that, him coming out on figure skates for his tryout,
Mhm.
just the ice time and William
Saul William
Scott.
Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, John, great actor, just all the way around, and to be able
Mhm.
to put it on the ice, that's my number 3.
Yeah.
Number 4. That's my number
That's your
4.
number 4. Yeah, that's my 3. It's funny, and one of the things that I liked about Goon is like comedies are dying. It's hard to find a funny movie anymore, and it's really hard to find a movie that's both funny and masculine, which he is. He's crude and offensive and all that. But there's also something in hockey movies, period, at least for for a guy in Houston, which is, it gives you a glimpse into a culture that's just foreign enough to be accessible, but also interesting. So explain, like, you get this when you talk hockey to newbies, where the first thing they say is, yeah, they fight. Why do they fight? What's the deal with fighting? And it's like, well, the enforcers have a role. They're, the way I started explaining it in recent years was, well, have you ever seen The Blind Side? The blind side protects that guy protects the quarterback. The enforcers protect the superstar skaters, the scorers. And Goon really shows, is a good illustration of that enforcer thing, which is dying off. I get it, but it's a glimpse into that culture, which I don't know. I think it's good.
But also, I think they put a nice bow on it by him being included, not excluded from the rest of the team. He
Yeah.
was respected for his role. He was respected for, yeah, that's pretty much it. Also liked, I can't remember who played the coach, but he did a really good job of being the coach and made me really believe that was a Canadian team and Canadian coach. He didn't speak French or anything like that, but that's another thing people don't understand. Why are the coaches wearing suits and why are they standing behind? What do coaches in hockey do? They don't seem to do anything. I'm like, telling the right group to go out at the right time.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn important. And now they've got those screens on the floor
Yes.
of the bench, which I think is incredible, where they can watch the replay and go, we're going to challenge this goal or we're going to challenge this or that. And they don't have a red flag to throw out there like the NFL. They just tell the goalie, the ref, hey, we're going to challenge that. And then they call Toronto or New York. I don't know where the heck they call. And away we go. So what did you have at 4? Where are we at? You had Mighty Ducks at 4. I had Goon at 4. We're at 3 now. So what you got?
And I had Goon at 3. So, like I said, we have very similar lists. My only issue with Goon is that it requires you to suspend disbelief in that a guy that can't skate can be a top level enforcer. And I understand it's not NHL level, but he could be a top enforcer in that league. That
and learn to skate
overnight. That takes some suspension of disbelief. Otherwise, it might be higher. So there we go.
Right. No, I totally agree. I also, when it comes to production value, when a movie has real jerseys from a real team, that's one thing. But when it has their own team jerseys that are different, that's another thing. A good example is the Mighty Ducks. They had their jerseys and they were very believable, very good looking, very sharp, and then accessible because the team became the team. And then you can find the Goon jersey all over the place, and it's got that sharp blue and orange, and you could find the Shamrocks, the Irish. I think it was the Irish was their nemesis on there too. But we lost that in the second movie with the story between the owner and the son. I agree with you. They kind of lost it there. So I definitely agree with that. Well, let's lean into, so your 3 was Goon. My 3 is Youngblood.
Interesting.
Yes.
I remember enjoying that when it came out, and then it not hitting the same on subsequent watchings, but okay, yeah, tell me about that. I'm interested.
So Youngblood was one of those first hockey movies for me. Let's see, when it came out, I saw it pretty quickly. I don't think I saw it on DVD. I might even saw it in the theaters. Had a really good song at the end of Stand in the Fire. You can't find that song. It's not on the soundtrack actually, but it's a really good anthem type song because we had Rocky at that time. And we had others that had the anthems and things like that. But I liked that Keanu Reeves was the goalie. I liked that Patrick Swayze was the mentor. I think Rob Lowe was just believable enough. And then the coach, I can't remember who the coach was. He did a couple of good coach talks. I do understand where you're talking about where it didn't hold up over time. So I take that more of a period piece type of
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's how I kind of justify that. But I do like it was minor B or minor whatever. I get confused about the levels. And then, the storyline I thought was good. And the overall shooting and production value I thought was pretty high. I did like, there was one scene where I think they were playing an away game and there was just a fog over the ice as the bad guys were skating in, or they were skating. Somebody was skating and there was just fog over the ice. And as a kid, you're thinking, that wouldn't really happen. But as I learned more about hockey and more about history of hockey, that happened all the time.
It happened in Houston in the 70s. So yeah, why wouldn't it happen? All the humidity and stuff.
Right.
Sure.
So you didn't know, as a not growing up as in the hockey realm or world or what have you, and not skated in, on the ponds of Milwaukee and what have you. I thought, that's just not believable. But knowing more now, I'm like, that's a nice touch to the movie that they didn't have their temperature right in the barn and it caused the fog to happen, because you're not supposed to have it.
You're making me want to go back and watch it. I remember Youngblood is where I learned about, again, as a kid, not growing up with hockey, where I learned about the hockey fight strategy being pull the jersey over the head. I had not heard of that before. Yeah, it's like, I learned something. That's my main takeaway from Youngblood.
Right. Yeah. And now we have fighting straps, and fighting straps were introduced in the 90s, I think.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Somewhere in that area. And so, you got a good, real, authentic jersey when it's got a fighting strap.
Yeah. Got a fighting strap here. So
if not, you're not. And the one I've got in the glass right there does not. It's not it's as replica as you can get with. Hang on, I take that back. It does have a fighting strap. As a matter of fact, it does, because when I put it in the frame, it's really difficult to do. Because it had that.
Which year you got there? Which team is that? Is that Turner Cup or Calder Cup or?
I believe it was 96. It's either 95 or 96. I'm not sure, and I have to. Some of the autographs I can actually make out, so I'll have to look it up. And but yeah, again, sister and I swapped. So
yeah,
she won. I think she won it at a raffle.
Okay.
And so I think I do think I won out on that. Below that, I've got my Rockets T-shirt signed by Robert Horry. And
nice.
That was during the championship time period.
Yeah, I mourned the loss of my collectibles from a move. So it's like, my Arrows gear.
A lot of people think that Robert Horry and Will Smith look similar, that they're side by side. They're like doppelgangers. When you meet Robert Horry in person, that couldn't be further from the truth. They look nothing alike. What's the facial structure, nose, nothing. So I don't know what angle they're getting on TV to make them look similar. They do not. And he's an interesting person as a player. He was very approachable, very jovial, just really fun to talk to. Nice. So my three was Youngblood. So take us into 2. What is your 2?
2 is Slapshot. And when I said, I'm going to talk.
Number 1 is now.
The process of elimination, you probably do. And there was some foreshadowing earlier, by the way. But when I said, I'm going to talk about the best hockey movies, it's like, if you don't say Slapshot's the best ever, it's clearly wrong. It's like, but, and I know why. Slapshot's funny, but okay. It's funny. It's quotable. I don't understand the foil thing. And nobody does. And I get the whole point of it was, it doesn't make any sense. These guys are weird, but it's like, but again, going back to that whole hockey is just foreign enough. As an audience member, you can look at that and go, is there something culturally I'm missing? What's going on? But the reason I can't put it at number 1 is because there's 2 reasons. Number 1, I hate the ending. The ending is like a it's a Mel Brooks movie.
Oh, it's David Zucker. Yeah,
it's what?
David Zucker. David Zucker.
Oh yeah, but it's Mel Brooks like, in which it's like, okay, we're gonna end the movie here. Let's have a pie fight, or we're gonna end the movie here. Let's have what is it?
Something else goofy.
Yeah, just skate around in his jockstrap for no apparent reason. And Reg Dunlop, there's no reason to root for him. I get that he's the everyman who's fighting for his life, really. And I got to find a way to get this team to make some money. I worried about my job because I'm aging out as a player. So I got to have some stability and I got to make things work. Okay, great. You're doing that while you're screwing your player's wife, or trying to screw your player's wife. And by the way, the one player on the team who's actually taking the whole thing seriously. You found you kind of stepped in gold with the Hanson brothers, but you're clearly taking advantage of these guys. And then where he's hooking up with wives from the opposing team and then chirping them about it on the ice, it's like, you're not a guy I can root for. That having been said, Slapshot's insanely quotable. I put a scene of it in one of my episodes with the goalie explaining to the reporter all the rules of hockey while he's beating him with the stick. Come on. Yeah.
This is slashing. He's so fun.
And if ever I hear Lady of Spain ever, I'm thinking about the scene in Slapshot where they drill the organist. It's and I howl every time because I rewatch it. I love the movie. It's my number 2. Where he's talking to the owner and he meets the owner's kid, and then when the owner says, "Hey, I'm going to sell the team for tax purposes," where he starts to comment on the owner's kid, I just howl every time. And I got the speech memorized, and yet
so quotable, yeah,
so quotable, and his delivery is great. But every one of these movies is imperfect, and in weighing it, it's like, yeah, I got to put Slapshot at number 2.
So Slapshot is also my number 2.
Is it?
Which means you probably know what my number 1 is now.
Okay,
and,
let's see.
And it's my number 2 for the same reasons it is your number 2. I can't put it at number 1 because it is not the best. Mm-hmm. It is the most memorable. Hockey players still watch it to this day. This was supposed to be allegedly the most fun Paul Newman had in a movie was this movie, allegedly. I've had conflicting sources on that say, no, that's not true. Okay. I'm like, I think it might be. That totally makes sense. But it is, so the foil. So as a kid watching this, I thought the foil was the same thing as the razor blades for wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So you want to hit the guy and then cut him and mess him up. So you're going to hit him and you're going to cut him and you're going to cause him to bleed. And then it'll make the fight look even more grandiose and like you really did something, even though you probably scratched him a little bit or maybe you tore him up with the foil. I don't know. It's for the fights, coach.
Never too old to learn something, right? Okay.
Well, I don't know that that's right, but that's what I thought as a kid. So maybe it's right. Maybe
that's a more plausible theory than any I've stumbled across. So I'm gonna accept it as fact until someone tells me otherwise. That sounds.
You heard it here first, folks.
There you go.
You heard it here first. All right, so I rewatched Slapshot probably almost every hockey season. Right before the season starts, I'll watch it again. We're going to table that one. Number 1.
Actually, I want to hear your number 1. I want to see if we got the same one. It probably do.
USA.
Yeah.
USA.
Yeah.
It's Miracle. It's Miracle. So I think when Disney did, and I went back and did a little research on this a while back because when you and I went to a hockey event here in Houston in July, the guy that was running it, Dave Stedman, is that right? Did I get the name right? Okay.
I believe so, yes.
I'm pulling that from memory. I asked him what his favorite hockey movie was, And he said, one that I think you should watch is Mystery Alaska. And he said, it's got Burt Reynolds in it, and it's got, God, now I lost his, Russell Crowe in it. Okay, so it's got Russell Crowe and Burt Reynolds in it. Now, Burt Reynolds does not touch the ice. Okay, so let's be clear.
Okay.
This is an older Burt Reynolds. This might have been around the time he did The Longest Yard reboot with Adam Sandler. So, hang on, I've got it right here. It's 1999. This movie came out. It is rated R, mostly for language and content and situations and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, Dave, and I think it was Dave. It might have been somebody else. I said, Dave, I'll go watch that. But you notice it didn't hit my top 10. And it's because Disney did not do a good job with this movie. I think they learned from this movie, and I think they've learned through time, if you don't have a good story, you don't have a good movie. And so the overarching story of Mystery Alaska is hockey in a small town, yada, yada, yada. But it really doesn't go anywhere. It just kind of spins and spins. And we've got characters that don't develop, or characters that have a weird arc that doesn't make sense, or all sorts of different kind of character. Do we want this to be a hockey movie, a raunchy movie, or a funny movie, or a campy movie? Oh, let's make it all of those things. Mm-hmm. And what do you get? You get blah. So yeah. When they did Miracle, I think they learned from Mystery Alaska that they need to do a better job, and we got Miracle, which was a much better job of a hockey movie with high production value, good acting, etc.
Okay. Yeah, I did not know that, so I need to at least look at it. You asked me. I think the wording was your top 5 or top 10 hockey movies. So okay, so it's personal, and this movie hits me where I live for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm a Cold War kid, and I'm a teacher. And Coach Brooks, that there's a scene early in the movie when he first connects with his players, and he's trying to show his players his his offense. And he says, well, if we go here and do this, what does that give us? And the players are looking at it like he's got 2 heads. But when we're up and running and going, and the players have bought in, by the end of the movie, or before they play the Soviets, the players are like, oh, if we do this, we have options. We have different things that we can do on the ice. And the whole offense is built around adapting to situations and having different options that we can do. But as a teacher, I'm like, I love the progression of the teacher teaching the students and the students buying in, and then using what they learn and adapting their lessons and eventually overcoming. The movie is sappy, but it's mostly true, right? The unbelievable part of the movie is that the Soviets pull their best goalie in the world, where they were still very much in the game, and they just pull their goalie and bring in the backup. And don't ask me to pronounce Russian names, but it's like, oh, and the Americans took advantage of it, and that's the unbelievable part of the movie, really. Everything else, and it's true, the only issue I have with this movie has nothing to do with the movie itself. Those that have watched my show might go, well, he's a hypocrite, because I have commented about, I absolutely hate it. And the Olympics are coming up, by the way. We're going to get nonstop Miracle on Ice references.
Yep.
And it drives me crazy for 2 reasons. Number one, the Americans won the World Cup in 96. So we have a more recent victory. I get it's not the Olympics, but it's something. But to me, every time I see a reference to Miracle on Ice, I think that's a lot of production value to acknowledge to the world that you haven't won since 1980. And and
Oh, that's
I,
such a good point, though.
I kind of wish that we would do something with, bald eagles and monster trucks and machine guns and, rock and roll and all these Americana things to say, hey, we're badass, instead of saying, hey, remember when we won, doing math in my head, 45 years ago? Yeah.
It was a day. Yeah, it was a couple. Yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Um,
So, yeah, I'm interested in your thoughts on Miracle.
on that same note,
Hmm.
a lot of people that hear Miracle on Ice think that was the gold medal game.
Yeah.
That was not the gold medal game. That's the game that took us to the gold medal game. The gold medal game still had to be played. We still had to win. It wasn't a foregone conclusion that we got the gold. It's just the whole Cold War part. And
Hmm.
maybe that should have been more of the movies, the setting the Cold War tone, or maybe there's the right amount of that. I don't know. Um, but yeah, we had another game to play. There was another game to play.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could, I broke my arm, coach, I can't play anymore. You couldn't have that drama because we had another game to play.
Yeah. Memory might be failing, but I feel like there was just like a wall of text or a voiceover or something that said, oh, yeah, we had another game after this too.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I think it's a wall of text. Yeah. I
but
think you're right.
really, to the United States, it wasn't the
Right.
official, but that was, Brooks says
That
very
was
early in the movie, we're assembling a team to beat the Russians. It's like, we don't care about anything else. And um, I don't know how you are with other sports. To me, I'm kind of out on the Texans. My favorite team is whoever beats the Titans. you
okay.
So
Yeah. I
yeah,
respect that. Mine
because
is whoever.
I'm still mad. so,
Right.
so I like that mentality that the Americans are like, yeah, the goal would be nice. We want to beat the Russians. That's it.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna end up playing them. So you're preparing a team
Hmm.
and this system that you may never play them. And
Right.
so that would have been we wouldn't have got the movie then, right? Because we never
Right.
played them.
Right.
So,
So all this confluence of events had to happen to make this a cool movie. So yeah.
right. And of course, it starred. I'm losing his name too. Um,
Oh my God,
who
did I
played
just blink?
who played the coach?
Kurt
Okay,
Russell?
so Kurt Russell, you got it, Kurt Russell,
Okay. All
and
right.
he is the Disney golden child. He was the one that Walt Disney got to star in movies before he passed, and pretty much he thought that he was going to lead them to the promised land in movies, and pretty much he did just
Yeah.
that, and came back to play a very good Mel Brooks. No, that's not right. Anyway, whoever the coach was for the
Herb
American
Brooks.
team, Herb Brooks. Good Lord, don't call him Mel. Mel's the goofball that's going to have a Spaceballs 2 before you know it.
I put it in your head earlier. That's what happened.
Yeah, I'm all about Mel now. So I totally agree. I think we both have two really
Okay.
solid lists. I don't pass these. There's one that's on my list of movies to see. Let me pull up my list again. And it's hard for me to find because it's got a weird name. What is it? Indian Horse. And it's a 2017 movie about a young man that's in I think he's an orphan, and he is a Native American Indian, and he plays hockey. And it looks really good, but I haven't found it. It's not available right now for streaming.
I
But I've heard.
remember seeing an ad in passing, and I'm like, oh, I need to check that out. And then, I saw a squirrel or something, and it just flew out of my brain. So
Yeah. And then I recently watched MVP, Most Valuable Primate, and it's about a chimpanzee that plays junior B hockey. And it is exactly what you're thinking. It's campy, it's goofy, it's an
Mhm.
after school special. And so that's what you get with a lot of these other movies. You get after school specials,
Yeah.
and yeah, I watched it, I finished it. I can say I won't be watching it again. That's
Well, I
with
got one
clarity.
for you. I got two for you to watch if you hadn't already. The Don Cherry Story. It's in two parts. I forget what the first one's called. The second one is called The Wrath of Grapes, because that was Don Cherry's nickname was Grapes. And for someone who doesn't know his story, because we never got Hockey Day in Canada down here. You just saw an occasional clip every once in a while.
All I know is he was a commentator and he had a podcast, and he was very, very well loved.
Yeah, he had a hell of a story, and I had no idea. And the only reason we watched this, the wife and I, is because starring as Don Cherry is Jared Kiso.
You got to be kidding me, really?
No.
Sure, he played Don Cherry.
He's fantastic. He really is.
Oh, wow.
He's younger, clearly, but it's absolutely worth a watch. So yeah, it couldn't make my list because it's like that's it's not personal to anyone outside of Canada, but it was a compelling story and worth the watch. So there you go. There's an honorable mention for you.
Okay, I like it. I also like it that it has Jared Kelso in it. Kelso.
Yeah.
I'm saying his name, clearly butchering it. But what he brought to Shoresy is just phenomenal, incredible.
Yeah.
Love that series. I've rewatched it several times.
Same. It's preseason watching, really, and you can tell that's a man who truly loves hockey.
And the vibe, the feeling of the brotherhood and team and looking out for each other. That's why I created this sports channel. That's what I love about sports and movies is the camaraderie, the cheering for the team. We're going to cheer for you when we lose. We're going to cheer when we win. We will cheer more when you win. Let's be clear. But we love the sport. We love this sport. We love watching, talking about it, etc. Did you say you had a second, or was Don Cherry your two because there's two of them?
There's two of them.
Okay, so that's your two. That's the two.
Yeah, there's a part one and part two. There's two separate movies for this. And I think that one's on Prime.
Oh.
It should be. It shouldn't be too difficult to find.
I'll look there first. So one that came out recently that I haven't seen, and to be honest, I haven't tried to seek it out yet heavily, but this is a two-part story. We've got Full Ride, which is on YouTube, and it's an independent series, and it's campy. It's about these guys that get a full ride scholarship for hockey. It's okay. It does not have much ice time, which I think is the downfall, but it does have some ice time. And it's a short series. I want to say it's like 5 episodes, so it's pretty short. It's on YouTube, so it's free. It's easy to find. But the guy that ran this and worked this, and I can't recall his name, and I probably won't. He went to the premiere of Shattered Ice, and that's the movie that is about I think it's about teen suicide, where this kid took his own life, and it totally devastated the town and the city and the hockey team, and everybody was just devastated by the loss. And part of the reason why I haven't watched it is I'm not at the point where I'm ready to watch another sad movie, because I watched Greater a couple weeks ago, and Greater's a football movie that's really sad. And I need to build myself back up before I watch another really sad movie. But Shattered Ice was supposed to be really a good, well-done movie. And, we should support people when they need supporting, and we should be there for each other so we don't have these situations of suicide and loss like that, which is, we like to say it's preventable, but it may not be, unfortunately. But Shattered Ice is one to look out for and to see if you're ready for it, because I don't ever want to suggest a movie for somebody and them not kind of know what they're getting into, because that's not nice. It's just not nice. All right, so let's switch the topic.
Sure.
Houston hockey. Let's talk. Let's throw it. Let me pass the puck to you.
Okay.
And let's talk your jam.
Sure. Okay. Well, as you mentioned earlier, my channel is Mission Control, Houston's Hockey Podcast. The tagline I use is news, rumors, innuendo, and outright lies about Houston NHL expansion. Started because no one was local talking about hockey. That's not true. No one was local talking about updates on NHL expansion. And maybe that's because the news trickles in so infrequently and unscheduled, but so is my show. Um, so
And that's okay.
I kept looking, like I would keep going to these podcasts for my drive time. You know, hey, do y'all have anything about Houston? And no, and it's like, well, I just read. How come no one's talking about this article I just saw in the Chronicle, or how come no one's talking about this thing I picked up on Sportsnet that's referencing Houston, but it doesn't seem to get blown up. So, um, after a few instances of this, I just said, F it. I guess I'll do it because no one's talking about it. And there we go. My next episode is launching in when we're done here. I set it up to launch when we're done, and I'm talking about arenas because that is the big thing. Where are you going to play? What's been keeping Houston from getting a hockey team? One of my early episodes is why doesn't Houston have a team? So yeah, and I don't know what your journey through starting a YouTube channel and growing the channel and promoting it has been, but I'm not sure what I expected, but it is not what I expected, whatever it was. And we're gonna have a team one day. It's a question of how. I think when is kind of resolving itself. So how is the question. The devil's in the details. And when that happens, I kind of want to be a part of things. I'm not. I'm a public school teacher. I'm not going to get season tickets. Um, I had a mini plan for the Arrows one year, and met some people that way. But I just want to be part of hockey fan community. And it's like, okay, well, here's my entry. Here's my contribution to Houston hockey at large. So yeah, and hopefully people dig it. you know.
So are you still thinking that December will get some news?
No,
Because you and I had talked in the past, and you
we did.
you kind of had this theory December might be historically the timeline.
Well, and that wasn't just me talking out my butt either. There are two times historically that the NHL has announced expansion. It's either in June or it's in December. And my thought was, okay, there's $2 billion on the table that the NHL doesn't want to let pass them by because that's going to be the expansion fee, probably 2.1 billion. However, when I've been saying, oh yeah, the team, it's probably going to be 2028, and others that are more in the know are like, no, it's going to be later than that. But I never heard a why. Why do you think it's not going to be? Why do you think it's going to be later? And I've recently heard the why. And the why is aside from that $2 billion expansion fee that the league wants, they also want 500 to 600 million set aside for arena construction. They want a hockey specific arena. And that's the holdup. So you're thinking, well, why don't they just play in Toyota Center? The Arrows did. We've had all these refurbs. The league has gotten to where they move away from shared use facilities. 2/3 of the teams in the league are hockey only.
They
Which
also seem to be okay with a smaller venue now, meaning
yeah,
not as many
strange,
seat
isn't it?
capacity. Used to the seat capacity, I think, was 30 or 25 or 30. They wanted
Yeah,
lots of seats. Well, let's be honest. If you're watching hockey and there's a bunch of seats, you're not going to be watching hockey. You're going to be watching the
you're watching
jumbotron.
TV, right? And I think they're figuring out, and they're also figuring out that they could charge more for corporate suites or whatever, and that's how they're making their money. Rather than you and I getting tickets, taking the
The
wife
common man,
to a game. Yeah, that's not where they're making their money. They'll get money out of us, and they'll get the merch and the popcorn and the beer and all that other stuff. But it's more of a corporate presence, and I think I think the league is sick of being beholden to the NBA. Really, when you look at the scheduling for television stuff, you're like, this is a weird schedule. Why is this so inconvenient? And then you realize, oh, well, the NBA midseason tournament is here. They don't want to compete. And maybe they have data that says you shouldn't. But also, these arenas, these shared use facilities, the NHL is scheduling around the NBA almost every time. It's like, well, you don't want to do that either. So the league wants a dedicated arena, and okay, that's going to take some time. But another thing that a lot of people aren't thinking, well, but we have Toyota Center, and I'm so sick of hearing Tillman's name when we talk about the NHL. The
What a
man is,
joke.
and I'm just, come on, man. I'm blue in the face talking about, no, it's not going to be Tillman. It's not going to be you. Okay, fine. But beyond the stadium they play out, where are they practicing at? I don't know if you were in Houston when the Arrows were here, but the Aerodrome was nice back then in Sugarland.
Oh, and spectacular. It was two good sheets of ice.
Oh yeah.
They had a nice locker room with a jacuzzi and a
room and all that. Yeah.
Therapy room. They had a workout room. They had offices. They had a huge ZAM pit. They had 2 ZAMs and a big pit, and
state of the art for the time.
And they filmed the sequel to Evening Star there.
Did they really?
On the sheet of ice. Yep. They had a big sequence. They had some of the stars there, and the whole end of the movie was Grandma wanted everybody to go skate at Rockefeller Center for Christmas. And so that's the scene they shot at the second sheet of ice at the Aerodrome. And Juliette Lewis was there. And the male actor, I can't remember his name, her husband in the movie was there. And they brought in a crew from Austin because it was union. And they took out all the boards on the backside, built a blue wall, brought in Christmas trees, changed out all the lights in the building to, studio lights for filming, filmed a 3-minute segment, didn't make the movie. It's on the cutting room floor. So it ends up being this great buildup. You're like, oh, I got to go watch the movie. What do you mean? It's not in the movie? Nope. I don't even think
that's why I never heard this. Okay.
I don't even think it was in the credits, but it was the storyline was Grandma always wanted the family to go to skate together at Rockefeller Center. Now, I've been there. Have you been there? Physically to
Rockefeller Center or to
the sheet ice? The sheet of ice at Rockefeller is tiny. It's not even half of an ice rink. It's less than that. It is so small. And in movies, it looks huge, massive. It is not. It is not. I went there and I'm like, where's the rest of it? And there's the big statue. And I'm like, this is disappointing. I don't want to skate here. I don't want to pay $15 or 20 or 50 or whatever it was to skate around and bump into all these people because it's filled. It's totally filled. Pretty much all day long during the holidays. So you'd be better off going to the Woodlands and skating on that sheet of ice if you want to do a holiday skate.
Okay. Today I learned. All right. It's been an educational
episode. But that was 30 years ago. I doubt they've made the ice any bigger, but that was 30 years ago.
Yeah, so they're kind of cramped for space up there, aren't they?
Oh, it's New York, right?
Yeah.
It's totally New York.
Well,
so anyway. So I need everybody to go over, watch the podcast that Matt's releasing about arenas. Yeah. I totally agree. That's a huge problem. Because do we have an alternate facility that we could play hockey at? Well, you could play at U of H in their basketball area, but could you?
Not for the NHL, you can't.
Reality is no. It's about the right size. It would be, everything would work, but NHL's not going to let that fly for 5, 10, 15 years.
Not only would the NHL not let that fly, but neither would Tillman, because his agreement with Harris County Sport Authority is that there's not another mixed-use arena within 30 miles of Toyota Center. And but that is Fertitta Center, so he owns that, doesn't he? Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. Wow.
Where's that at? Where's Fertitta Center at?
That's U of H. That's UH basketball.
Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, because I know they upgraded from Hoffines.
That's right. Yeah, I was there 7 years ago for something on campus. And the most bizarre thing to me was you walk in and then you walk down to your seats, at least the arena I was in. It's the entrance I came in on. you were at the top and you could see down and you walk down to your seats, which usually you go up to your seats or you're at a mid-level or something like that. So, but I could be wrong. It could have been some other arena. It could be totally tore down now. It's been a while. Okay, well, that's awesome. So we're going to do, let's see, let me get it up on the screen real quick, what we're going to do next. And here we go. We'll do 4 to 5 questions, and we're going to do rapid fire. So try not to think too hard about them. Okay. If you want to, that's fine too. Favorite sports moment, overarching. It can be anything that jumps into your head. Your favorite sports moment.
Well, you said mine, so mine's going to be very personal. It's going to be, my dad taking me to see the Astros. I saw Nolan Ryan pitch. Oilers. I saw Earl Campbell, and then me later on taking my kid to these guys. I discovered hockey, and it's like, hey, you're old enough. Come on, and now he's into it. So yeah, that's going to be my favorite sports moment. A close second, I saw George H.W. Bush at an Arrows game, and I was 2 rows back from him. And regardless of your politics, I try to keep my show apolitical. I don't want to bring it to your show, but just hey, there's a sitting president, or not sitting. There's a president who's
a living president.
A living. Thank you. Watching your minor league hockey team, where you kind of wonder if the rest of the city cares, and then here's an endorsement from a man of that stature. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think, well, I think that's cool when you see a celebrity, and let's face it, that's a celebrity.
Sure.
Watching hockey, the same game you're watching, breathing the same air you're breathing. That is a special moment. That is a special moment. The Arrows brought in one of the singers from the Monkees, and it was the main singer, and I'm cannot think for the life of me his name.
I have to admit that I know this. Davy Jones.
Thank you, Davy Jones. Yep. Thank you so much, because I was stuck on Mickey Dolenz, and I'm like, it wasn't him. It was the short little guy. And so they brought him in, and I took my sister, and she got to meet Mickey Dolenz, get a signature, get an autograph with him, and then he passed away 5 years later. Wow. And so she got, so minor league hockey in general brings us together with all sorts of cool stuff. And you and I got to meet Brett Hull and a cast of characters this summer at a Houston hockey event. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. All right. So favorite sports movie. Oh, that's
favorite
cool.
Sports movie. Yeah.
Favorite sports movie. And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be hockey, but it could be anything.
Yeah, you asked me this, and then I'm like, yeah, I got a bunch. Yeah. See, you told me not to think about it too hard, and here I am. So,
well, you can go through and say it's going to be this one. It'd be one of these.
All right, it's gonna be Miracle, Remember the Titans, Bad News Bears, one of those, and all for different reasons.
So my follow-up question will maybe help this a little bit. Favorite motivational sports movie? What's the one that you watch and you're like, man, I can take on the world?
That one's got to be Remember the Titans. As campy and cheesy as it gets in places, there's and I don't remember names, but the guy who wound up losing his head coaching gig, having a moment of humility and learning the system and realizing greater good, and everyone buying into the program. And this might be the teacher in me, Denzel's character, who's bringing everyone on board, who's uniting otherwise divided locker room. That's cool. I will also say, and I know this is lame, and I'm going to say it anyway. Not even the movie version. That's how lame this is. The TV show version of Friday Night Lights.
I've never watched it.
Okay.
So I don't know how campy or hokey it is or what have you. I know that some of the speeches from the coach from the TV series have gotten a lot of attention. So I think they did some good writing there, whether it's true or not.
Oh no, it's completely fictitious.
Okay.
All they did.
All they did was
I
take
think
the city, right? Or the school.
I don't
and
even
used
think
it.
that they took the city. They just took the name and they fictionalized a city and they made everything look like oh my god, I want to say the fictitious. They made everything look like Odessa, Permian. But no, I understand it's lame. I was flipping channels and noticed my celebrity crush, or one of them, as the coach's wife. So I stopped because I'm a horrible person. But then you start looking underneath the surface, and it's like, this is a compelling show. Oh damn, I need to watch the whole thing now.
Okay.
And
So,
honestly, as cheesy as it is, the coach is inspiring. Sure.
right. I love the inspiration. You bring inspiration, you got me.
Yeah.
Coach Carter, inspiration, you got me. Things like that, it'll get me every time. And then throw in some sappy sadness, and then I'm bawling like a baby. So when the movie came out, I asked my mom. I said, "What do you think about this movie?" She said, "I'm not going to go see it." I said, "Why? Why wouldn't you go see this? It looks like a pretty good movie." She said, "I know how it ends. I remember them playing in the Astrodome. You were this year, this age and this, that." And she told me exactly. She remembered all of that. And he didn't go to the game. We're not from that area. We didn't, we could have gone, right? You live in the Houston area, buy a ticket, go watch high school football in the Astrodome. But she said, I know how it ends. I just can't go see it because if you don't know the ending, I just spoiled it for you. I'm sorry.
My mom grew up in Odessa, and she was like, "Oh no, it was insane with just the hype
rivalry,
surrounding,
right?
the hype surrounding the football team. It was weird."
Right.
That's
So let's see. My next one is favorite movie, snack, or drink. So you're going to sit down and watch a movie wherever you want in the whole world, and you can have whatever you want in the whole world as your snack and beverage of choice. What would that be?
I am saying this with the full knowledge that my wife will not tune into this. Whatever she puts in front of me. I don't like going to the theater anymore, and it takes a really special movie to get me out to the theater. But in the living room, home cooked meal, let's watch our show or our movie or whatever. The cat's bothering me trying to get to my dinner or whatever. But man, that is how I like to just sit and watch a movie, any movie.
Well, you also have 100% control of your environment. You want to kick out the cat, you can kick out the cat, but you can't kick out the guy sitting next to you in a movie theater.
Yeah, I'm a sci-fi nerd, and we went and saw Tron, and sure enough,
what'd you think?
Yes, but I'm super into Tron. Okay. I don't know how it resonates with someone who's not super into Tron.
Okay.
Because I think, the problem with Tron was always that it's hard to follow. So I don't know how much someone that's not as invested as I was would care for it.
I am okay. So I probably won't go see it in theaters, truth be told, but I will watch it when it streams. But I'll have to watch 2 before then. Shoot, I'll probably have to watch 1 also.
Yes, you will.
To be honest with you, because it's been so long, and I loved 1 when it came out when I was a kid. It was so the everything about it was just incredible. And truth be told, I like the genre of video games and anything to do with a video game where you get sucked into the video game or you're playing the video game. I like that. Ready Player One, love that movie. Loved it. There is a Ready Player 2 book that's out that there's, I don't know if they're in production or whatever. I haven't looked it up, but everything about that I love. So I love that genre. So go back, watch Tron 1, Tron 2, and then watch Tron 3.
Yeah, I grew up with it.
Right. I did too, but the second one kind of lost me in the whole, and the time lapse from the first movie to the second one, that kind of ruined a lot of it
I don't
for me.
remember
Also.
all this stuff from 1983. Yeah. My mom worked at Hewlett Packard, who did the graphics for it. So she would bring
Oh
home
wow.
promotional stuff like a year and a half out from the movie's release. She brought home, hey, you getting me interested in this. You like Star Wars? This is kind of, sort of. And no, it's not, but it got me hyped and interested and stuff. So yeah,
Right.
yes. But anyway, point being, I was at the movie, and sure enough, every once in a while, I'd see a little light off to my side as there's someone like checking their phone.
Oh, that's just not right.
Yeah.
No,
So
that's something I will not do 100%.
no.
My phone goes on silent. It goes in my pocket. I've got the space
Hmm.
watch, and so if I need to look at it, go see if there's a text,
Hmm.
and if there's something I need to do, I'm going to get up and leave, and that's just
Yeah.
me. So one of the movies I watched in the theater that I just had to see was F1, and it
Mm.
goes along with the channel. And I did not see it in IMAX. I
Hmm.
kind of wish I had. So that's what I tell people: go if you could go see it in IMAX, go see it in IMAX. But the theater I was in had all the special sound, Dolby XXX or whatever it is today. And so you really got the vroom, vroom, vroom of the cars and the engine. The seats were rattling in the theater because of the sound. And Brad Pitt does a good job. It's Brad Pitt. He's a good actor. And all his supporting cast did a great job also. So if you remotely like racing movies, it's a good one. It has a good story, et cetera, applesauce. So it's
All
all
right.
good there. Okay, so I have one more question. And I missed it it's actually my second question.
Oh, whoops.
What is the first sports movie you remember watching? Go back to Little
Yeah.
Matty, and it definitely would have been in the theaters. I would assume.
Yeah.
Yours is probably the same as mine.
My gut instinct is to say Bad News Bears, but that might not be correct. But that's my early memory. There may be
That's
some Mandela effect happening there.
that's
Uh,
100% my first one.
is it really? Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I actually remember I told my mom I wanted to go see this movie. It looks really funny. It's about some bears. And she said, bears? I said, yeah, it's got bears in the name, but it's a baseball movie, Mom. I love baseball, baseball, baseball. So we went off in Charlotte, North Carolina, driving around trying to find this. She's got the newspaper, trying to find this theater. We get lost, can't find the theater. I'm crying because I think I'm 5 or 6 years old. Oh, what is this movie? Well, you're not going to see it today because we can't find where it is. So
It's a good reason.
we did end up seeing it, but I remember, and maybe I'm melting several different movies that we went to go see. That whole memory may be several memories melded together. But a couple of years later, I remember Star Wars coming out and going to see Star Wars in the theaters and having the commercial came on the radio for Star Wars. And I said, I am so tired of hearing about A Star is Born. That movie looks so boring. And my mom like, no, 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 no. This is Star Wars. This is a space movie. I said, oh, space movie? That could be good. She said, yeah, it looks really good. And then, I've got my action figure box back there full of Star Wars characters.
Oh yeah, I see
So,
Vader back there. Yeah.
yeah, he's got a Raptors ball cap on. He keeps it real.
Yeah.
So, Matt, any final words before we shut this down?
Not really. First in my mind, hey, come check out the show. My thing that I tell my listeners, so I'll tell yours too, is wave the flag, especially if you're down here in Houston. Um, I'll have an arrow sticker on my laptop or on my car, or I'll wear, a ball cap of the University of Houston Hockey Club. And every now and then someone will stop me and either reminisce about the arrows, or I didn't know UH had a hockey team, or something like that. Get conversations happening, wave the flag, promote the sport, promote hockey in Houston. Generate that buzz.
So I think we need to make up some stickers that say "No rest till the NHL plays in Houston." That's sticker right there.
I got some things planned. I don't know if you're going to be at Hockey Day in Houston, but I got some
So
ideas percolating in the
tell
back.
everybody what Hockey Day in Houston is.
Hockey Day in Houston is this will be the third annual. It's and I am going to cheat and look on my calendar because I don't nothing gets done without Google Calendar in my life.
I asked you
But
because I don't know it off the top of my head. That's why I
cool.
asked.
All right. Well, I don't mind admitting it. So anyway, yes. Okay. March 21st. It'll be at St. Arnold's Brewery. Last year there were players in attendance from the Houston Aeros WHA championship team. Uh,
Oh, wow.
we typically have representation from the Dallas Stars, typically alumni. The Ice Girls have been there. And by the way, I'm saying this without knowing who's planned for the coming up year. But we had the Ice Girls there, and Vic, the Stars mascot. We've had Chili. If you miss Chili, Chili has been there. Arrows memorabilia has been on display. And if you're a hockey fan in Houston, you're feeling all by yourself, come on out. It's the day where they just broadcast on the screen at St. Arnold's just all the hockey games that are playing. There's going to be, I don't remember how many games they're playing that day, but there's going to be just all day hockey to watch. And it's really a celebration of hockey. It's a celebration, a nostalgic celebration of the Arrows. And here's the cool part about it. They're going to give some kids, high school hockey players, scholarships from the Howe Foundation is going to, and I don't want to say a number because I don't want to commit anyone to anything because I don't remember the exact number, but the Howe Foundation, Gordy and Colleen Howe, contribute to it, as well as fundraising from Hockey Day, and just the idea of there being young people, young hockey players, getting an opportunity like that. Again, we're kind of hitting some buttons of mine. So yeah, and it's just a stupid good time.
I missed it last year, and I don't
Yeah.
know why. And I hadn't started the channel yet. So
Mhm.
if you see somebody running around in a blue jersey with this logo on it, that would be me in my Rafters hockey jersey, which it's not, I don't have yet. So thinking positive thoughts to the near future. But we'll definitely search you out, and I'll reach out to you beforehand. Maybe we can do something before then.
That'd be cool.
Figure out some reason to get together is, well, it's always a good day for hockey.
This is true. Humidity is hockey weather. Don't worry about it being too hot at St. Arnold's. We're gonna have a good time watching games.
And a couple of maybe a cold adult beverage or whatever floats you.
Indeed.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for coming on the channel. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you in the back room. We'll chat here in a second off camera.
Sounds good.
So thanks for coming on. This is Scott with Rafters Sports and Movies. This has been Hockey Talk with the top 5, Matt and I's top 5 hockey movies. I think it's a good list. I think you should go check those out. I think you should go check out Matt's channel and see what he's got going on, because it's Houston hockey, but it's hockey. So it's all good. And it's awesome. So game over. Thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Rafters